Thanks for joining us today. At City Life, we have one purpose, making it easy for people to say yes to Jesus. We believe that today's message will empower you to do exactly that. But remember that church is so much more than a sermon you listen to. It's a living, breathing community that we invite you to be part of. We hope to see you this Sunday morning here at City Life.
I came to City Life 7 years ago.
5 years ago.
25 years ago.
3 months ago.
18 years ago.
3, 5, 6, 7,
13,
20 years ago.
I came to City Life 26 years ago.
When I was 10 years old.
5,
17.
11.
I came to City Life when I was born.
When I was born.
When I was 43 years old.
I came to City Life when my life was turned upside down.
At City Life, I found real life.
Hope.
Direction. Joy.
Belonging.
Fun.
A whole new depth to my relationship with Jesus.
A place to express myself.
A place to be passionate about Jesus.
I found amazing people to do life with.
Real people.
Long-lasting friendships.
Community.
At City Life, I found a forever family.
Jesus changed me by showing me there's more to life than just this world.
Taking a kid who had nothing and giving him everything.
Giving me a second chance.
Grace.
Purpose.
Brand new perception.
A new heart.
Jesus showed me the importance of helping others.
How to be kind. How to pray.
What humility looks like.
Sparking the interest of wanting to share the gospel to people.
Jesus showed me all kinds of stuff.
I got connected on team because I wanted to try something new.
I wanted to be around more people.
I wanted to help children know Jesus.
Because I have a passion for music and I wanted to use it to serve God.
To make people feel welcome.
I got connected because I was asked.
Somebody invited me
To try out a team.
because of Connect groups.
Because the church was about 10 people and somebody needed to do everything.
I give my life.
My time.
My energy.
I give my commitment.
I give my finances.
My attention.
My talents.
I give my all.
I give because I want to help the church grow.
I believe in the bigger picture.
I want to be a part of God's bigger plan.
I give because I love to give.
Because so many other people have given to me.
I give because other people need Jesus.
I want people to see Jesus the way I do.
I give because Jesus gave me so much that I want to share with others.
I'm in this together because there's power in numbers.
A family can never get too big.
You can't do it alone.
We can't do it alone.
Things are better together.
Because of the impact it has on my family.
I'm in this together because I want to help build our team to reach more people.
Because I want to help make it easy for people to say yes to Jesus.
I want to create opportunities for the next me that comes to church.
I'm going to use my why to impact others.
Influence other people.
To build God's house.
Further the next generation.
To make an impact in my world.
To bring the kingdom of heaven to earth.
To reach places that need to be reached.
For those who are lost.
Together with Jesus, we are whole.
We are bringing people to Him.
Together with Jesus, we are bringing to life His story.
Together.
Together with Jesus,
We are writing the story.
Writing the story.
The story.
The story.
The story.
Together with Jesus, we are writing the story.
That's my why.
My why.
my why.
That's my why. Too much?
A little bit.
How good is that? It is so great. And you know, I love the stories. I just love to hear what's happened in people's lives. And there's just something about hearing the stories that just makes it so real. And with the Edmonton service starting, there's a whole bunch of new stories we're gonna start to hear. And I'm gonna get ahead of myself if I start thinking about that, so I won't. I'm gonna back up in my notes and stay on my notes. Let me just give a quick disclaimer. If this is maybe your first time here at City Life, or maybe one of your first times, this is Heart for the House Sunday, and it's a giving Sunday. It's a Sunday that once a year we have as a church to make financial contributions and pledges towards kind of the physical building of God's house. And the reason that we do this is because this doesn't happen by accident. This happens by intention. And this, having a place to gather, having a location to gather, that comes because 20 years ago, 10 years ago, somebody was intentional about giving to make this possible today, and what will be possible tomorrow will depend on what we do with what we have today. And so this is a Giving Sunday. If you're a guest here, please, there is no pressure at all to give. And even if you're a longtime person, there's a little pressure to give, but we understand. but we do want you to give with joy. This is about a day that we're really preparing for tomorrow and getting ready to go forward. Of course, the year ahead, advancing into the brick side there, and building a new sanctuary, building a new whole side, and then there's going to be like a full-size kitchen for our kitchen people. If you serve, God bless you. If you serve in the hospitality area of the church, because if you've ever seen what they have to work with in there, it's not cool. It's really not cool. It's like telling someone to prepare a feast in a broom closet. You're just, God bless them. I want to give a quick review of what happened last year. Last year, we in our Heart for the House offering, there was, between the offering and the pledges for the year ahead, there was pledged in 2017-18 $134,180. You can see that on the screen. $134,180. That's what was pledged for the year ahead. What was received to today, not including today's giving, in Heart for the House is $306,644. So I like it when you get to say more than what was pledged, because it really sucks when you have to get up and say less than what was pledged for the year ahead. And just to give you a little background, in December 28th, 2016, we were officially mortgage-free as a church. We had paid off the full mortgage on this building, and we worked very hard to do that. And that mortgage was about. I need Paula in here because she would know these numbers. It was about $800,000, I think. A little over $800,000, and that completely cleared out all of our savings, basically, as a church. And the reason that we did that is because we knew that over the next period of time, we would save literally tens of thousands of dollars in interest. And it's like we have the money, we should pay it, because then we're not paying the interest on this building. So we did that, but we basically cleared out our reserves, and we're starting from scratch. Now, the project that we're going to do in this whole building, the project is projected to be about $2.5 to $3 million. So that's a bit of money. But put it in perspective. What does your house cost? The average house, $400,000. And do you want us all to fit in there? Put it in perspective. It's not that. It's 6 houses is what it is. It's like 6 houses. It's not. So we're going to get all of us into 6 houses. That's a deal, guys. That's a deal. And we're going to have a good home theater system in this house. So, and that's part of our long-term strategy is actually to use this as a convention center for to generate additional revenue, because we'll be one of the most technologically advanced buildings in the region. And so we do have a plan, guys. That's what happens when a guy who runs a business is in charge of the church too. It's just what can we do to generate income? So I shouldn't talk about any more of that now because I'll run out of time. So basically going into this year, we were basically reset, and at 2016 we were reset. In the last year, we've actually received two of the largest donations. Actually, the two largest donations that we've ever received here at City Life. It happened in 2018. One was a donation of $200,000. And another one was a donation of $275,000. So isn't that cool? And that's allowed us to set a little more aside. Part of that $306,644, 180 of that came from one of those donations. So that's a very significant portion. And we also, as a church, we've been very diligently setting aside a portion of it. Basically, a portion of all the general revenues that have been coming in. We've been you can ask any staff member, they get sick of me telling them to tighten their belt. Like, it's just, just think save. Just think save all the time. Every time you guys are ready to make a purchase, ask yourself, do we really need this to function? They probably get sick of me because I say it a lot. But it's since we paid off the mortgage, through those donations, we've also set aside. We have another account. It's called a non-designated fund, and that's what we've been setting aside out of general giving. And basically whenever anything extra comes in, we've been setting this aside for the future. And this fund called a non-designated account, and the total between the non-designated account and the Heart for the House account as of today is $920,082. You know what's really funny about that number? It took us 24 years to hit that number the first time. And then we hit it in under 2 years the second time. There's just something that when you work together, things compound. And, when you look at your life, don't look at your life thinking, well, it took me 25 years to get this far. How long will it take to get maybe 2? You'll run the same distance, just that much faster. There's something about life, how that works. And you do get more effective the longer you work at things. And so I want to talk today at Heart for the House Sunday, and I just want to set, God's a builder and you're meant to be one too. God is always building something, and we should always be building something too. And there's a verse, Acts chapter 20. It says, "So now I put you in God's hands. I entrust to you the message of grace, a message that has the power to build you up and give you a rich heritage among all those who are set apart for God's holy purpose." The message of grace, or the message of Jesus, is designed to build you up. It's designed, the intention of Jesus Christ when he came to the earth. It says in John 3:16, I like the message version. It said he didn't come to point an accusing finger of blame. He came to set the world right. He came to set your life right. He came to establish you, to bring permanence, to bring structure, and to bring increase to your life. And God always starts with building in your life, but his plan isn't that it ends with you. It's actually he wants it to start with you and then work through you. And God's always building something. We go to the Bible, we find him building a tabernacle, then we find him building a temple, and then we find him building this things that he said, I'm going to build my church, and this will never stop. I'm going to build this, and this building will never end. It's going to build through eternity. And so God's always building something, and whether it's friendships, marriage, careers, business, we're meant to be builders. We're meant to be constantly in the process of building something in our lives. And every season of our life, we need to be intentional and we need to be strategic in asking these questions, and asking the question, what should I be building right now in my life? What should I be putting my effort into? What should I be investing my time into? What should I be investing my energy into? And when your life, when it seems to be hitting an impasse, I want to encourage you, keep building. When you get in a season of life where it gets frustrating or you're not really sure where to go, what I would encourage you is keep building, keep working, keep investing your time. And if you're finding yourself in a stage of life where you're feeling like a part of your life is lacking, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's your career, any area, start building in that area. Start investing into that area. We're all called to build. We're all called to build. When it comes to a career, you don't land a career, you build a career. When it comes to a business, you can buy inventory, but you have to build a business. You can meet people, but you have to build friendships. Biology will give you children, whether you want them or not. Biology will give you children, but you have to build a family. You have to build a family. You can own a house, but you have to build your home. Everything in life is built. And I want to just encourage you is never underestimate what you can build in your life. We go back to that number. It took us 24 years to hit that number the first time. But then in 2 years, we were able to build back to that number. That there's so many aspects of life that are like that once you get the skill in that area of your life to build, that skill doesn't go away. That ability doesn't go away with time. So when it comes to having healthy church, and when it comes to having what makes City Life what it is, well, it's because a whole lot of people have built it to be what it is. It's because you and because the person next to you and the person behind you have come with the intention of saying, we're going to build something that reflects God in our community, reflects God in our region. See, there's no magical solution to having a healthy church. There's no magical solution to having a healthy family. It's no magical solution to a healthy career. It's called build. Build one. Build one. God blesses builders. That's why that's my other business. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. And Heart for the House, it's not about building a physical building, even though it is about building a physical building. It's about building a physical building for the real building, which is you. The real church is you. But we need a physical building for the real building to gather in, because the real building can't meet in the snow. If we lived in, I get so jealous when we go to churches in California. I do. I get so jealous. And I get jealous because they will half the church is standing outside and enjoying the sunshine. They just gather on the street. And it's we could do that 3 Sundays a year. It's the rest of the time it's minus 30 or it's raining. And they're California is rain? What's rain? Everything just turns magically green here. I hate you all. I'll tell you, Jesus put us here because he loves us more. Any old weak, wimpy person can survive in California. It takes real men and real women to survive the cold north. Don't play that for any of my friends in California. So, before you ever set out to begin, before you ever set out to build, here's a good question to ask yourself. What do I want this to look like when I'm done? What do I want my life to look like when I'm done? And, these are questions that are actually not just little questions to think about while you sit on the toilet. These are how does he get that in there? How does he why did he even have to say that? Why talk about the toilet? These are questions that are actually vital in the building of your life, because they will help you determine what you're going to do and not do with your life. And the real question is, if you're young right now, what do you want your life to look like in your 40s? What do you want your life to look like in your 50s? Because the decisions you make in your 20s, in your teens, and your 20s, and your 30s, those are all going somewhere. They're all building something. What do you want that building to look like as you get older? And then it really helps you to make choices along the way. It helps you make choices about what you're going to build into your life and what you're not going to build into your life, about things that activities you're going to get involved in, and things it's like, if I get involved in that, that's going to directly work against what I want to see a decade from now in my life. So it helps you to filter down. What do you want? You start with the goal in mind. And it helps you eliminate a lot of unnecessary activities. It helps you define what kind of people you'll join your life to. You know, many of the major decisions of our life actually have to be made before we're in the situation where we have to make those decisions. And there's a lot of situations that if you just make some decisions, you'll just never have to make other decisions. Because you'll never, by virtue of making one decision, you'll never get stuck in the place where you have to make another decision. You'll just put your life in a safer place, period, or a better place, period. This is called having a vision. And Proverbs talks about, it says, without vision we perish. It says, without a vision, people perish. And that word perish, that word in the Hebrew actually means to wander in circles until we die. Really encouraging thought, isn't it? That's but without vision, without some kind of vision or an idea in mind of what we're going to build with our lives, without that, we'll just wander. We'll kind of wander, I'll try this for a while, and I don't know, this is getting hard now, so I'm going to try this for a while. And, that's getting hard now, and I'm not very good at it, so I'm going to try this for a while. You know, nobody's good at anything the first time they try something. And most things take intentional effort to get good at. It takes concentrated effort to get good at. And this is about vision. Is where do you see your life in 10 or 15 or 20 years? And let me just encourage you with this. If your vision doesn't scare you a bit, then you probably aren't listening to God. If your vision doesn't scare you a bit, you're probably not listening to God, because God wants your vision to be big enough that he has to be a part of it to see it happen. And if we take what we can do and just think, I can handle this, then where's faith needed to get there? So, a godly vision, some people ask, well, what kind of vision should I have? Well, this is kind of the best definition I've heard for just what godly vision is. It's not just what could be, but what should be. It's not just what could happen, it's what should happen. And it's the role that where we see our lives playing a role in making what should be happen. It's where our internal convictions are, life should be like this, and I'm going to help make it happen like this. When it came to church, there was something in me that said, church should not be a place where people get pooped on Sunday. Yet people shouldn't come and get told they're not good enough, they don't pray enough, they're not dedicated enough, and they don't give enough. People should come to church, and it should be the most encouraging part of their week. From the time when you first walk in the foyer, there's somebody there. Before you even park your car, someone has smiled and waved at you, and someone has greeted you. And as you walk in the door, someone has said, "Hey, it's great to see you." And there's just a building that starts from the beginning to the very end, where the messages don't leave you feeling like I'm not a very good person, I'm not a very good Christian, but it's where God is for you. God's got your back. God cares a great deal about you, and he's in your corner. A place where souls can be restored and families can thrive and individuals can grow and flourish. The healthiest place in the week. That's what Heart for the House is. It's saying it's not just about building a big building. It's about let's build a great people. Let's build a great church together where people can become the healthiest version of themselves they can possibly be. So how do we do that? Well, we invest. We invest, and that's why we ask you to invest today, because whatever you want to see grow, you have to invest in. You know, if you're struggling in your relationships, you need to invest time into relationships, don't you? If you're sitting here today thinking, I don't have a lot of great friends, well, guess what the solution to that is? Invest time with other people, and then you'll start to have great friends. I know this is very deep theological teaching at this time, but bear with me. If you're struggling in your marriage, the answer is not to start listing all the problems of that other person and then give them a list of what they need to fix. Try it. It'll be funny. You have to invest. You have to invest. Whatever you want to see grow in your life, you have to invest. You have to give your time to it. You have to give your abilities to it. And you have to give, a lot of times, your finances to it. You want your home to grow. You're going to spend money on your home, aren't you? Invest in the thing that you want to see increase. See, Heart for the House is about increase, but it's also, and you've seen it referred to today in the video, it's being part of a story that's bigger than yourself. It's being part of a story that's bigger than just ourselves. And this Heart for the House, we're expanding this particular house, but we're also expanding the rooms in this house to encompass a whole nother region in Edmonton. And our ability to resource Edmonton has come from the years of service and contribution that have happened here. Our ability to launch this service and to have another service in this location, it comes from the service and the dedication of people from years and years here in Leduc. And the financial strength of what has happened here is laying the foundational strength for what's about to happen in Edmonton. And the Leduc will be renovating here, but as we're redoing this facility and as we're renovating here, this will become the equity base which will one day build there. It will become the equity base that will probably one day build somewhere else too. And when we started Leduc, Monica and I started the church in Leduc. There were two of us. And we got help from one other person for about 6 months who drove up and played keyboard on a Sunday morning for our service of 10 people on a good day. Yeah, when Dennis said he came and there were 10 people, that wasn't an exaggeration. There were some days it was 3 of us. It was Monica and I and Cassie, who was 8 years old at the time. That doesn't really leave you all that heartened as a young church planning pastor, let's shake up the world person. It's we got an 8-year-old here in church on Sunday. And, we were sent out with, the two of us were sent out with an offering of $873 to start a church. I was happy. I didn't realize how little money that was until it's what's funny is when we came here, I didn't really expect anybody to give us anything. When we came here, there was no, you need to send us with a full team or you need to send us with a whole bunch of money. We just came and just worked. And we were young and stupid, so we didn't know it couldn't be done. With all that said, it made it. Obviously, it made it. But we're starting, the Edmonton service launch is starting with over $150,000 invested into the startup. Sound equipment, lights, all the things to do church are there. All the things to do church are there. And we're also sending competent pastors. which took about 15 years to happen here. The kids came, but the competent pastor showed up in about 2005, I would say, yeah. Hey, I look back and I was 21 and she was a different age, and she was 12. Back and think, what in the world were you thinking to do that? And if your vision doesn't scare you, where are you leaving room for God to do something impossible if you don't try and do something that's impossible from time to time? Now, I'm not saying go out and try and jump off the roof and fly or anything, but there's times in your life that God will move you into places you don't think you can go. But his design is actually to take you there, and at the end, it's like Abraham said when I can't remember now who one of the kings wanted to give him a bunch of money, and he said, "No, I will not have it said that anyone but God prospered me." And there's just like, what kind of faith would it? I'd like to give you $1 million, and you just say, "Nope, I'm not going to let it be said that a man prospered me. I'm only going to let it be said that God did it." That's some kind of faith to do that. And I want to encourage you as the story of Edmonton starts to unfold. I want to encourage you, especially those of you that have served here for years, or those of you that might serve here in the days ahead, but you won't be at the Edmonton location. You'll be in this location. I want you to know that's still your story that's unfolding there, because it's what's been done here that's made the unfolding of this story possible. It's what's happened here that is making it so that we can send, instead of 2 people with a keyboard player, we have a team of over 50 people that we're jump starting that Edmonton service by 15 years. We're literally starting where we were at year 15 here for resource and team. Maybe even a little further, because our team's is a lot more competent now. But I want to encourage you, as you hear the stories, we'll start to play them. You'll see them on the website. You'll see them on Facebook. Those stories, you're a part of that story. You've made that story possible. You've made that story possible in somebody else's life. And when you invest in something that affects someone else's life, that story becomes a part of your life. These days will become the days that we'll tell stories about 10 years from now. Remember how we took that step of faith. Remember how when we were going to build a building, we were stupid enough to try and start another service at the same time. What were we thinking? Well, the same thing that 2 kids in Red Deer were thinking when they came up here with $873 and started a church without a clue. Literally. Barely out of puberty. I could not grow facial hair when I moved here. Not even kidding. So let me start from the very ground level here. God's house is not a building. You are God's house. But we need a building to build God's house. And the building is not built. It's not built through a fancy video. It's not built through a corporate statement. It's built through your contribution. It's built through the contribution of your time. It's built through the contribution of your skill. And it's built through the contribution of your finances. And all of us have a different ratio of those ingredients in the recipe of our life of what we can give. For some, they have a lot of skill. For some, they have a lot of time. Others, they have a lot of finance. We're all different, but we all have a role to play in building this thing called God's house. And God, what's interesting is that, Malachi chapter 3, we call it the tithing chapter. That chapter gives a very specific reason for why you're supposed to bring the tithe to the house. And it says, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse. And the reason is so that there may be food in my house. He's declaring the reason why God outright says why he wants us to bring our gifts to his house. It's so that there'll be food in the house. We invest in God's house so that when we come here, the house will have something to invest back into us. So there'll be bread so that our souls will be fed. Giving is actually one of the most selfish things you can do. Because by giving, we're ensuring that every time I come here, this house will be taken care of so it can take care of me, so that it can take care of my kids that are right next door, so that it can take care of my friends who are maybe going through a struggle in their life and need some counseling. Well, then the church is here. There's food here for them. They can come and find food for their souls. All right, let's stand up. And, I want to just pray for vision, because I believe that God wants to renew our vision. I believe all the time. But we can go through seasons where vision can get clouded. Vision can get dirty. If you've ever driven a bike through a rainstorm, vision can get dirty. And there's times you need to get the glass is cleaned off. Get fresh vision and fresh faith. So let's put our hands on our hearts and let's just pray together. Jesus, would you renew my vision? And would you speak to me on what I should be investing my life into at this time? Would you give me wisdom to know how to spend my time, how to invest my abilities, and how to invest my finances so that it builds your purpose in my life? Speak to me about the decisions I should be making and the investments I should be making with my life. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. That's great, you guys. And I want to encourage you, if that's maybe the very first time you've prayed a prayer like that, kind of looking to God and looking to Jesus for vision and direction in your life, we would love to help you get started on that journey. And I just want to tell you, that's the most exciting journey you'll ever take. And it's the best journey that you'll ever take. And there's a next steps card in the seat back in front of you. Pull that card out, fill that out, and then just stop in at the next steps table after church. We would love to help you get started on that journey. All right, you can be seated. And if you want to just turn your attention to your card that's in the seat back in front of you, you can just reach in there and pull that out. And this is the financial contribution or the financial commitment part of the service. And like I said, if you're a guest here, there is no pressure at all to give. This is really about those of us that call City Life. This is our home. This is our family. And we want to see it built, and we want to see it increased and established. And you can see that there's the options that you can fill out there. Some people just give like a one-time offering, and others will do pledges. I'm a pledge guy myself because I like how I can get more money over a long period of time. Makes me, dollar cost averaging works. That's investing term, which is what I consider this. The option one is to set up for recurring gifts through PushPay. And just a note to you, if you have signed up for Heart for the House giving in the last year through PushPay, you do actually have to go in yourself and change that. We can't change that for you. So if you're wanting to whatever kind of change you're wanting to do, don't actually contact the office, because that you have control over your own account there. We can't control that. We don't actually have the ability to. So you can do those yourself. But as you fill this out, I'd encourage you, if if you're making that pledge through PushPay, please let us know through this card what you're doing, because that helps us to know for the year ahead what's coming in. And even if you're just doing a one-time gift, it just helps us to know what to plan on for the year ahead. And we hope we get as disappointed next year as we were this year with hitting our target number. Yeah, that was called sarcasm. So you can do that one-time gift for or pledges for the year ahead. And I want to encourage you. This is what builds permanence. This is what establishes. This is what allows the church to be established in our communities. Not just a cool little club that was here for a little while and met in a rented building, but became a permanent fixture in the fabric of our region.
We hope today's message encouraged you. If you want to take your next step in saying yes to Jesus, you can always contact us at cty.lc or fill out the next step section on the City Life app. It's an honor as a church to play just a small part in what God is doing in your life, and we look forward to seeing you soon here at City Life.